They're very, very good players, and they're multi-dimensional. They can do different things, and they do a lot of things for our football team, both on and off the field. They're leaders. They're just fantastic guys. We got a somewhat of a newcomer there. Played a little bit for us last year, but was injured in the first game. Naeem Wortman, who we think has a very, very good future, and the future's now. You know, it starts on Saturday, and he's had a good camp, and we expect him to play well. Then we have Ben Klein. Ben Klein is a fantastic guy. I've said this over and over again, just a fun guy to coach, backup linebacker, stand out on special teams, tough guy, kind of what the whole Penn State football program, I think, represents. Ben really represents it well. We have some younger guys, you know, Gary Wooten, that'll be involved on special teams. We have Brandon Bell, who probably won't play in the game, but we think he's got some you know, the ability to have a good future here. He's just got to keep coming along. We've got some run-ons there. You know, some of our run-ons we think are pretty good players, like Adam Cole. He's done a nice job. Charles Adamudia will help us on special teams. So there's some guys there that'll help us, but those three starters will be Hull, Carson, and Wortman.
Okay, Brian, at this point, we're going to take questions here in the media room. Ask that you please raise your hand, and we'll bring a microphone to you.
Hey, Bill, it's supposed to be kind of hot this weekend.
Yeah.
With depth concerns, obviously, for your team, how much of an issue or concern is that for you?
Yeah, I think that's, early in the season, that's an issue for both teams. You know, I think one of the things you've seen recently around here is it's been pretty hot for the most part. Like yesterday was hot, today's hot. You know, that's good to get out there. And, you know, when we practice is around the time that we'll be playing the game, which is important. I think it's important that the guys wear the right things when they play. You know, not to get into the details of that, but, you know, making sure that they're wearing things that don't trap the sweat and let your body breathe a little bit. And then I think it's really important that we as coaches, that we rotate them in where we can. You know, some positions we can rotate a little bit more freely than other positions, but we've got to do a good job of that as coaches. I think early in the game, just like any first game, it's a big game and played in a venue like this, the guys will be jacked up, both sides of the ball will be pumped up. There'll be some a little bit of hyperventilating going on. We've got to do a good job of calming these guys down, keep our poise on the sideline, and just let them get into the flow of the game. So I think that's not just a concern for us, but I think that's something that both sides are probably looking at.
Bill, you kind of introduced us last year to a new term called complementary football. With either way, no matter which way you go on Saturday in the first play, you're going to have kind of an inexperienced quarterback out there. Talk about, you know, there's got to be a renewed emphasis on all those components coming together on Saturday to take pressure off those guys, off those two quarterbacks, I would imagine.
It doesn't matter whether it's a young quarterback or not. I have a strong belief in this, that in order to be a successful team, you have to understand the definition of complementary football. You know, football is a game of emotion, it's a game of momentum in many ways, and so one of the things that we always talk about in our room, especially during game week, we started with it yesterday, was complementary football. Hey, look, you know, if the defense comes up with a big stop or a big turnover, offensively we have to turn that into points. And hey, look, if the offense turns the ball over, which hopefully we don't, but who knows, it's the first game. If we turn the ball over, hey, defense, that's a sudden change. You got to get out there and stop them. You're expected to go out there and stop them. Special teams wise, you know, hey, look, we drive the football at the end of the half. We get it in position to kick a field goal. We got to go out there and execute the field goal. Everybody feeds off of each other, and I think that's an important part of what we do as a team, no matter who the quarterback is.
Bill, I know you're not going to tell us who the starting quarterback is, but just to clarify,
I might, because of that hat you got on. I'd love to tell you.
Very Irish looking, is that why?
I love it. I forgot mine, it's too hot.
You just tell me maybe in the hallway, that's it?
What's that?
Just tell me who the starting quarterback is in the hallway?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Just to clarify, have you made your decision, and you and your staff? And if so, have you told the two kids involved in it and the rest of the team who the quarterback is or will be?
And so, just to clarify, you'll find out who the starting quarterback is on first play, offensive play on Saturday.
Is it important for the team? You said several times that the team knows what direction you're heading. Is it important for them to know who it is?
It's always important for the team to know the direction we're heading.
In terms of the quarterback?
In terms of everything.
Hey, Bill, whichever quarterback it is, what can you as coaches do to mentally prepare them for that first drive? You know, just that neither of them have been in a Division I football game, so what do you as coaches do to, I guess, not that they're going to be starstruck with the environment, but what can you guys do to mentally prepare them?
Sure, I think you're trying to, it's not just the quarterback position. I believe me, I get where you're driving at, but it's everybody. I mean, this is a big game. I mean, you're playing a game in MetLife Stadium, and you know, you've been waiting for this game for a long time, both teams, and so what you try to do on both sides of the ball is you talk to these guys about how you're going to open the game. What's the strategy of how we're going to open the game? We don't really know what they're going to do. They really don't know what we're going to do. And so how are we going to open the game? So we're going to open the game in this way. And we're going to make sure that we follow our rules and do what we've been coached to do and help each other out. And we have to do a great job of communication. It'll be loud, whatever it is, verbal, hand signals, reading lips, whatever it is. We have to do a great job of communication. And so one of the things that we'll talk about constantly is the beginning of the game, how we're going to start the game. And hey, look, if the beginning of the game doesn't go very well, boy, there's a lot of game left. So don't go in the tank. Keep playing. Keep fighting. That's what Penn State's all about. Hopefully, you know, we understand that when the game rolls around and we're ready to go.
Bill, you highlighted some of the freshmen earlier. With Nico Robinson, we talked about him before.
Yeah.
Is he still here, or is?
No, Nico's not here. Okay. Basically, what I'm going to tell you on that is what happened there is between Nico and myself. And you know, Nico is a fantastic kid. It had nothing to do with discipline, nothing. This kid's a fantastic kid. It just didn't work out here at Penn State. He will end up somewhere, but he won't be at Penn State.
Hey Bill, obviously there are a lot of other teams, not just you and Syracuse, that haven't named your starting quarterback yet. And Nick Saban even said the other day that putting out a depth chart is a chore, and he only did it because the media made him to. So what are your thoughts on the public's right to know about depth charts and positioning in quarterbacks?
He makes me do it. No, I think it's important. You know, look, the game of football is, in many ways, it's, you know, obviously for the players and the coaches, but it's for the fans. It's a spectator sport. And I get that, and I love the Penn State fans. I mean, they're one of the best parts about this place, the student body, the fans, and really my dealings with the media here has been, for the most part, very, very good. And so, I'm not trying to do it to bust anybody's chops. I want to do what's best for the football team right now, the 2013 football team, and I want to do what's best for the guys involved, and I want to do what's best for Penn State. And what's best for Penn State right now is for you to find out when we take the field for the first snap of offensive football against Syracuse.
Bill, you touched on the stage, being in New York. You guys had really gotten a lot of national run in the offseason and the way you finished last year. Do you see this as an extension opportunity with the momentum that you could build, or do you just look at it as it is another season?
Well, it's definitely a new season. It's another season. But I do think anytime you play in New York City, you're on the big stage. And, you know, it's on ABC, and you know, it's a big game. But again, I think that everybody around here has to understand that 2012 is over. I know our players understand that. And so it's not so much building on momentum from last year. It's more about, okay, what is this 13 team going to do? And now here we have an opportunity, you know, to go play in a great venue and hopefully do a great job for our fans and our supporters.
And last year, Mark had mentioned the heat and the way you started out last year. Have you guys adjusted practice? Do you feel like the team has fresh legs going into this opener?
I do. I believe that we've done a better job of that this year. I really do. And we've done a number of things to help that, and I don't want to get into the details of it, but excuse me, I believe that we've done a better job of that this year.
Hey, Bill. I'm back. With the inexperience factor of Tyler and Christian, how much extra emphasis do you put on getting guys like Zach Swinek, Bill Bell, and Akil Lynch in the game, and you're relying on them, or do you expect whoever the quarterback is to just, you know, kind of pick up where Matt left off last season?
I don't compare anything to Matt, and I don't care, just like I said to Neil, I don't compare anything to last season. I expect 2013 that the quarterback was in there, whoever the quarterback is, and plays well. I mean, there's a high standard of playing quarterback here. That's what the offense, requires. We'll be as balanced as we can be. We're going to really try to be balanced. We can't go into the game and think we're going to win throwing 60 balls. But if we have to throw 60 passes, that's what we have to do. If we have to run the ball 50 times, and that's what we have to do. We can't go into the game and just have our minds locked in on this is how it's going to go. Because first games, you really don't know what to expect, so we have to adjust during the game. But whoever's the quarterback, whoever plays, who's in there at quarterback, is expected to play well.
Bill, could you give your impressions of the kickoff, punt coverage, and the return teams coming out of camp?
Yeah.
And then did you kind of extend the thud, stay on your feet philosophy to that part of the practice?
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely did. But if you look at our kickoff coverage, our kickoff return team, let's start with those. Look, I think our kickoff coverage team, for the most part last year, did a nice job. We had guys last year that really went down there and did a nice job. And a couple of those guys, like Mike Yancich, aren't there this year. So, what we're looking for is we put some guys in those positions. Who's gonna take that Mike Yancich type role and go down there and be a leader? But I think that overall, I like where we're at with the kickoff coverage. Kickoff return, we've changed things up a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to get into that with you, but I feel good about where we're at with the kickoff return right now. Again, proof's in the pudding. Punt team and punt return, again, we've worked extremely hard on both of those. Syracuse is a very, very good special teams unit on all four, and so we're not sure what to expect with their punt block and their punt return units, so we have to do a good job of, just like offense and defense, of following our rules. I think Alex is punting the ball pretty well right now. I'm hoping we don't have to punt too much. But if we do, I think we'll go out there and execute. I believe, I feel good about where we're at. Punt return, again, we're doing some different things with the punt return and the punt block, and hopefully that shows up on Saturday.
Coach, back here in the corner. Last year was an emotional game leading up to the first week. You mentioned Posier and poised a couple times. Have you sensed a difference in the team's demeanor going into this year's opening game, even though it's in a major venue?
Yeah, again, I don't really compare anything to last year. Every year is different. I believe our team right now is preparing and trying to do the best they can to learn the game plan, and they understand that they're playing a great opponent, and they're looking forward to the challenge. But last year was last year. This year is this year.
As you saw Zach Zwinek improve throughout the course of last year, how much did he even surprise you with how well he did? And the fact that you have a young quarterback, how much of a comforting factor is it knowing that you've got an experienced running back?
Judging by the fact that I had him as the third or fourth team running back at the beginning of the year, I would say that that was some bad coaching. Because I think in about whatever it was, 8.5 games, he gained 1,000 yards. And Zach's a tough guy. I love coaching Zach. He's very hard on himself. He demands perfection of himself. He's tough. He's a big guy. He can run. He's got deceptive speed, and he can catch the ball. So he loves playing at Penn State, and again, he's a big part of our team.
They've got Syracuse has two pretty decent running backs.
Yeah, they do.
Talk about the importance of stopping the run on Saturday, and especially with a new quarterback for that.
Again, that's, I think you go into every single game, no matter who you're playing, okay, really, no matter who you're playing, you've got to be ready to stop the run. If your defense isn't set, it's just my belief, if your defense isn't centered on stopping the run, number one, then you're going to be in trouble. Because this is Penn State. This is the history of Penn State says, number one is, we're going to play as tough a defense as we can, and we're going to try to stop the run, and that's the way it goes. But to me, that's good defenses all over the place say the same thing. It's especially true with Syracuse because their two running backs are really, really good players. Tough guys, strong guys. They can run, they catch the ball well, and Syracuse does a real nice job with those two guys. So